Hello, welcome to Lumination Podcast Lumination. This is episode 13, entitled Become the Best You Can Be. And I'm your host, Jason Johnson. Now, in this episode and in this podcast, we won't give you any canned techniques. We're going to give you something a lot more valuable. And this is going to be the ability to think of new ideas that will benefit you as a person. Now, the ultimate goal of this community here is to create a movement that we can all come together. We all have had suffering or have suffering, and that's really, at the end of the day, what bonds us together. We need to stop wasting time and learn to overcome these challenges. Now, if you find any value whatsoever, please share this with your friends and your family. Head over to iTunes. Give us a rating and a review. Follow us on Instagram, Dreamland Management. In today's episode, there's a professor. His name is Dr. Rob Gilbert. Dr. Gilbert gives us 9 words that if we take to heart will change our lives for the better. We'll be a better person. The 9 words that he says: actions change attitudes. Motions change emotions. Movements change moods. Again, these 9 words: actions change attitudes. Motions change emotions. And movements change moods. What Dr. Gilbert means by this, a few things. If you don't feel motivated, you better act motivated. You need to act what you want to become. Now, if you don't feel like running, you better start running. If you don't feel like doing X, you start X. Now, it's the start that stops most people. If you want to start writing a novel, you start by writing the first word down. It's how you act. If you want to be happy, you got to start smiling. You don't wait until you're happy. You start smiling, then you'll be happy. You'll act confident. Now, there's 3 types of energies in this world. That's 3 types. And these 3 types can be a source of thinking. Now, one of these energies is the world is not enough. Now, if you think this, you're going to keep attracting something that's not going to be enough. It's like these very rich people that we see all the time who may commit suicide or who go into depression. They can't get enough. The world is not enough. And there's others out there that think of the world of just enough. Now, these people out there, they have just enough, and they want just enough, no matter how hard they work. And then finally, you've got the world of more than enough. And that's where you give freely and receive freely. Now, these people will practice till they get it right. Others, they practice till they can't get it wrong. If something known to you is only going to get you so far, you have to own it. I want you to think back in grade school, elementary, junior high, when you were filling out a test and they gave you and you had to use a number 2 pencil. You remember that pencil? Now, there's 4 principles I want you to take to heart on this that we can liken to ourselves and how we can be a better person. Yeah, remember, through this pencil, every time the more you use it, and eventually you're going to have to resharpen this pencil. Now, I think that if a pencil had feelings, it would be pretty painful to go through this resharpening. But guess what? That's what it takes. Pain comes to all of us. And it's through this pain that we build character. Now, you'll remember, on a pencil, there's an eraser. And that allows us to correct the many mistakes. And you need to remember that any mistake you make is not a mistake, it's a lesson learned. Also, where you're used, you're going to make your mark. Think of stumbling blocks, they're like stepping stones. Remember though, the most important thing of this pencil, it's what's inside. And for every one of you, it's what's inside of you. I'll finish up here with a story. Many years ago, there was a boy walking barefoot, and he remembered this fable about the sun and the wind. Now, the sun and the wind complained and argued of who was stronger. The wind said, "I'll prove that I am. You see that old man down there with a coat? I bet I can get his coat off of him quicker than you can." So the sun went behind a cloud, and the wind blew until it was almost a tornado. It blew harder. And as it blew harder, the tighter that old man clutched his coat. And finally, the wind calmed down and gave up. Now the sun came out from behind the clouds and smiled kindly on the old man. And that man wiped his face and he pulled off his coat. The sun then told the wind that gentleness and friendliness were always stronger than fury and force. Hope you've enjoyed this episode today. Again, if you like this, please share it with your friends and family.